Grayson has moved farther off the East Coast, further out to the east than meteorologists expected, possibly because it didn't want to compete with the storm in Washington, D.C. Thanks to all the juicy revelations in the new book about the Trump presidency, Fire and Fury. Not to be confused with Omarosa's new book, Fired and Furious. Yesterday, she looks mad.
She look real mad.
She does not look happy.
She not wanting that.
Not look happy. Just yesterday, we got primo poop from former White House chief strategist and expired hamburger meat that wished to be a real boy, Steve Bannon. Now, remember that meeting in Trump Tower between Jared Manafort, Don Jr., and a Russian lawyer? They don't, but Steve Bannon does, and Bannon says it was treasonous. Oh, my. What is that? I agree with Steve Bannon. That old gypsy was right. And remember, Trump denied any knowledge of this Russian meeting, but Bannon said the chance that Don Jr. did not walk these jamos up to his father's office of the 26th floor is 0, which is the same chance that there is a word jamo. I don't know what jamo means.
Yeah,
do you guys ever heard of jamo?
No, jamo.
No, I think it might be Spanish for maga.
Jamo. I don't know him.
This made
French.
Trump lose his, let's say, mind. He fired a vicious statement out yesterday claiming Bannon had nothing to do with me or my presidency. Again, here's Bannon with Trump in the Oval Office having nothing to do with them. That doesn't prove anything. I was just renting in the space in the White House for his pop-up Halloween store. He has absolutely no influence over me other than being my chief political strategist and convincing me to support an accused child molester for Senate. Of course, the White House has called everything in the book a lie. But yesterday, Trump's lawyer sent Bannon a cease and desist letter and accused Bannon of violating an agreement that prevented him from disclosing confidential information. Well, which is it? Is he lying or is he disclosing confidential information? Steve, you promised you'd never tell anyone about those terrible things you saw me not do. Remember? And Bannon has caught holy hell from his own supporters. In the last 24 hours alone, candidates he endorsed have abandoned him. He lost his biggest billionaire donor. Even the alt-right is turning its back on Steve Bannon. It's true. They're so embarrassed of Bannon that a lot of the alt-right have started covering their faces with hoods. And, yeah, they don't want to be seen. Yeah.
Especially at night.
Turn out the lights. They're just walking around with torches. They're just so embarrassed. Now, remember, Mitch McConnell and Bannon have been butting heads like a couple of rams, with Bannon claiming just recently he was going to take McConnell down this year. Well, yesterday, on his Twitter feed, McConnell proved he was having the last laugh, or at least the last creepy smile. That is either pure schadenfreude or someone's feeding a turtle. Here comes the lettuce. So, of course, it's not just Bannon. This book is loaded with the dish, including details of Donald and Melania's bedroom habits. Don't change the channel. It's not what you think. It turns out that the president and the first lady have separate bedrooms. The first couple to do so since John and Jackie Kennedy, meaning Donald Trump has had just as much sex as JFK has had in the past year. But if you're concerned that the president might have a mistress, don't worry. Apparently every night, if Trump was not having his 6:30 dinner with Steve Bannon, he was in bed by that time with a cheeseburger. I'm gonna hope eating it and I love you, hamburger. What's that? I love... What? He's just licking out the special sauce. Now, hey, get your mind out of the drive-thru. And believe it or not, I know this is gonna shock some of you, the guy who eats McDonald's in bed tends to make a mess. Staff were instructed to not clean up after Trump, who said, if my shirt is on the floor, it's 'cause I want it on the floor. Don't touch my floor shirts. There might be some leftover cheeseburger in there. But, so, how did the author of this book, a journalist, Michael Wolff, get such access? From the president himself. Wolff says, quote, after the election, I proposed to Trump that I'd come to the White House and report an inside story for a later publication, journalistically, as a fly on the wall. I'd like to just watch and write a book. A book, he responded, losing interest. I hear a lot of people want to write books. I wrote one just the other day. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Mad Libs. And it's about a bumpy clown going to a slimy wedding. Pretty spooky stuff. Today, in the White House briefing room, everyone, of course, was eager to hear the White House response to this book. But first, there was a very special episode of the Hucka Sanders Propaganda Variety Hour.
We have a message from a special guest that I'd like to share with you. That I'll ask you to tune into the screens, and then I'll continue from there.
Thank you for being with us today.
He's appearing on a video screen even though he's 50 feet down the hallway. I have a message for the White House press corps. The call is coming from inside the house. Get out of there! Get out! I'm dizzy from the stupid. And it continued with Trump on 2 screens behind her. Isn't it bad enough that we have to watch this guy on TV? Why do we have to watch him on TV on TVs? That is just pure dictator behavior. But if he's going to do it, at least use it to give Sarah Huckabee Sanders' answers some context.
The president's economic agenda of lower taxes, less regulation, and more opportunity for all is already paying off, and American families and workers are the big winners. With that in mind, we have a message from a special guest that I'd like to share with you.
These are all lies. We say lie, 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 lie.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We got a great show for you tonight. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is here. But when we come back, marijuana. Stick around. Wow, what a cliffhanger. What's gonna happen in the next Late Show video? Click subscribe to find out.